Hi, my name is Justin Orndorff. I'm the founder and president of DVS Baseball. And I'm here today to talk to you about what is a DVS score, how a DVS score can improve your career, and how to go get your DVS score. But first, let's talk about what is a DVS score. And the easiest way to understand the complexity of a DVS score is to think about it in terms of mechanical efficiency, or essentially how your body and arm sequence to move to throw the baseball. And I know you've heard before, there's no one pitching motion or one style, or every pitcher is different. Well, every pitcher is definitely different, but I'm here to tell you that there are certain sequences of movements that happen during the kinetic chain of the pitch and delivery that are definitely better than others. Okay, so let's take Clayton Kershaw and Whitey Ford. Both look different, both from different eras, but both sequence well and have high DVS scores. See, how a pitcher moves or how they think about creating force or understand force really starts to determine how this sequence of movements actually starts to manifest through their body. And our research with the delivery value system shows us and continues to show us that pitchers that sequence better will see more long-term benefits in terms of health, function, and performance. And to go back to our delivery value system, it consists of 6 mechanical components that we have specific criteria within each component. So there's multiple angles and certain criteria that determine the specific score of that component. And then those 6 components are then added up to an overall DVS score. So the overall scale goes 0 to 24, 24 being the least amount of risk, the most amount of innings, and the most longevity that you can have in your career. So in terms of if I'm a pitcher and I want to get my DVS score, I want to understand what the DVS score can do for me. So through our research, especially at the United Shore Professional Baseball League, where we've seen what the improvement side of the DVS score can do, we've been able to see the following 4 benefits that can positively impact your career long term. The first is decrease in injury risk. Now, what does that mean? So we can tell you, hey, you have a higher DVS score, don't worry, you're at less risk. So what we decided to do was really objectively measure that. So we have studied the function of the shoulder in relation to throwing volume, throwing intensities, recovery times, and obviously, what does the increase of velocity have on a pitcher with 2 different DVS scores, and how does that manifest in terms of the recovery rates? So our research to the USPBL has allowed us to really see if a pitcher goes from a 13 DVS score to a 17 DVS score, what happens at the shoulder, what starts to happen in terms of their ability to recover and abide by our soreness protocols and the throwing program, and basically allowing them to recover quicker, going from a 72-hour recovery cycle to a 48-hour recovery cycle, getting them to be able to get back to this 100% function quicker. So each time they're asked to throw 100%, the shoulder, the elbow, they're basically at full function and they're ready to perform at the highest capacity. So second goes into that sequence which I mentioned earlier. See, the better the sequence, the better the timing. So the forearm and the wrist is going to be in a better position at foot strike, and as the upper body and arm transfer into ball release, the wrist, the hand, they're going to be more synced up, they're going to be more in time, because the force moving through the body is going to become more systematic, the pitcher is going to have less to think about, and so therefore the ball flight starts to become what we call more true, or you could refer to it as has a better tunnel effect. And what happens is now I have less variability within my pitches, so my command or my zone command gets significantly better. Again, we've been able to study these things and see as the pitcher improves their DVS score, we can say that so does their command or their timing. Third, and I kind of mentioned it earlier, is recovery. But most importantly, is, as a pitcher, you know for a fact when you feel good, it has this psychological benefit which can say, hey, feel good, play good, right? I got my good stuff today. I know I can go out there and perform better. So if you're walking around day to day and you're constantly having aches and pains, sore arms, you got to be in the training room, you're trying everything you possibly can just to feel normal. Well, what we've seen is it's a lot easier to feel normal day to day if your sequence is higher or your DVS score is higher. So when you show up to the ballpark, hey, you feel pretty good. And therefore, if you want to take an extra 15 throws and work on a specific pitch, or you want to go back in distance a little bit further, it allows you the ability to actually throw more. Doesn't mean you have to ramp up your 100% intensity all the time, but it gives you more throws that you can basically fine-tune your skill set, which is to execute pitches. And fourth, which is the big one or the sexy one that everyone's after, is velocity. But we approach velocity as a byproduct of this improvement of the score. See, this sequencing also helps to create more mass and leverage into every single throw, which therefore increases your ability to have long-term sustainable average velocity gains. And one of the biggest statistics that we've had in the USPBL is regardless if you improve, 0 on your improvement in your DVS score or 5 or 6, everyone who enters the program's been able to improve by at least 1.1, 1.2 average fastball miles per hour. We have seen some pitchers go and increase as much as 3%. 3% is huge when you start to get into, if you come into the program and your average fastball is 90 or 91. Well, if you come into the program, let's say I'm 90, 91, have a 12 or 13 DVS score, doesn't mean that you're not a good pitcher. It just means that you have the ability to potentially improve the same basis of your stuff to a much higher level. So you could be able to get from 91 to 94 if you improve your sequencing better, instead of thinking about, I have to improve all the components of my body to throw harder. Sometimes the fastest and shortest route to velocity is just understand the sequence and the movements that go into how you throw a baseball. So velocity, everybody wants it, but not everyone truly understands what goes into the body to deliver a pitch and how to get this long-term sustainable velocity. So if you're curious, DVS score sounds great, sounds like it improved my career, so how do I get it? Easiest way, if you've had no contact or no relationship with DVS baseball before, is just go to dvsbaseball.com, log into our website, click on the store page, and then click on mechanical analysis, and that'll take you to the page to start getting your DVS score. We're going to give you a video analysis, a PDF report that breaks down the certain components which we've mentioned earlier, the areas where there's strength, there's weaknesses, and the areas where you need to improve upon. And if you do want to improve, well, contact us. We have more than enough ways to get you on the path where you can start sequencing better and improving your DVS score. What we call, hey, extend the longevity of your career and increase your ability to have long-term success. My name is Justin Orndorff. I'm the founder and president of DVS Baseball. We encourage you to get your DVS score if you haven't done so, and we look forward to working with you. Thank you so much.